Wow, here we are already to the last unit of the year, Unit 8, so Lesson 8.1, Converting Metric Units of Length. Your I can statement, I can convert metric units of length. Stop the video and write that down. And let's get started. All right, so I thought this chart would be helpful to you. Notice that in the middle, we have our standard unit of length, which is meter. Now in the metric system, this word right here changes. If it's length, we're using meters. If we were to measure liquid or volume, we would use liters. And if we're measuring mass, or sometimes you think of it as weight, we would use grams. Now, notice that the word meter is at the end of each one of these words. And that will be true for liter and for gram, which you'll see in a minute. So it's just the front part of the word, the prefix, that is going to change. Now notice when we move this direction, our units are getting smaller, and they're getting smaller by 10 times. So when we move from a meter to a decimeter, that takes 10. So it takes 10 decimeters to make up a meter. And as we continue to move to the right, we're multiplying by 10 again. These units are getting smaller and smaller. So it takes 10 times 10, or 100 centimeters to make up 1 meter. And then finally, getting 10 times smaller again, 1,000 millimeters make up 1 meter. Now let's look at it didn't want to do that. Let's go the other direction. Here, these units are getting larger by 10 times. So it takes 10 meters to make up 1 decimeter. It's going to take 100 meters to make a hectometer, and this is getting 10 times larger again. It's going to take 1,000 meters to make up 1 kilometer. So a kilometer is a very large distance. A millimeter is very, very tiny. Here's a little helpful tool that can help you remember these prefixes. So you'll remember that we had kilometers, hectometers, decameters. Now the U here stands for unit. Like I said, we're either going to be using meters, liters, or grams. And then the prefix down here would be deci, centa, and milli. So it'd be either like decimeter, centimeter, millimeter, or decigram, centigram, etc. You'll see that as we go. Now to help you remember these units or these prefixes, we have a little saying. King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. So that helps you remember what letters or what prefixes come in what order. There we go. King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. Kilo, hecto, deca, whatever unit you're using, and then deci, centa, milli. So what does all this mean? Well, again, here are your units. Grams are for weight, liters are for capacity or volume, that would typically be liquid, and meters measure length. So we're going to focus on length today, which is meters, as we said with our I can statement. So there's our King Henry died unexpectedly. We happen to be using the unit of meters, drinking chocolate milk. All right, so by the way, I'm going to have you copy this down. So you're going to copy this stairway, copy these words down. Just the white part would be okay. You don't have to copy the meter part because that part changes depending on what we're measuring. but kilo, hecto, deca, and then just put unit here, deci, centi, and milli. Make a note that this is the longest unit, and then way down here is the shortest. So now when we're using these steps, as you move to the right or travel down each step on the metric scale, you're going to be multiplying the number by 10. And you'll remember throughout the year what that means is we're moving our decimal one place to the right. So you're doing that each step you move down. So stop the video and get this copied down in your notebook. All right, now, which is longer, a centimeter or a meter? Okay, a meter is longer because look, there's a meter, there's a centimeter, and we're going from longest down to shortest. A meter is longer than a centimeter. It takes 100 of these to make up one of these. All right. What is shorter, a hectometer or a meter? So here's a hectometer, here's a meter. A meter is shorter. Okay, longer distances, the higher up the steps you go. There's your meter, there's your hectometer. A meter is shorter. All right, so let's try a conversion. We're going to convert 4.5 kilometers to meters. So that means we're starting up here. We have 4.5, and we're working our way down here to meters. So remember, each step we take, we are multiplying by 10. So step 1 would change our number to 45. If we multiply by 10 again, that number is going to become 450. And if we multiply by 10 again, we're going to end up with 4,500. Notice that the decimal is moving one place to the right each time. So we've taken 1, 2, 3 steps, and our decimal moved 1. Okay, it was here. It moved 1, 2, 3 places to the right. So it takes 4,500 meters to make up 4.5 kilometers. Let's look at another one. We're going to start with 580 millimeters, and we're going to convert that to meters. So this number tells us where we're starting, and then we have to see where we're going to land. So each step we take, we're going to be dividing by 10, which means our decimal is going to be moving one step to the left for every step that we take on the scale. So here we go. We start down here with 580. When we move one step, each time we're dividing by 10. So 1, 2, 3 jumps to the left. Our decimal went 1, 2, 3 jumps to the left, and we end up with 0 and 58 hundredths. So 580 of these itty bitty things is 0.58 of a meter. Okay, let's try one more. We're going to convert 15 meters down to millimeters. These are very small, so it's going to take a lot of these. We're going to be going 1, 2, 3 jumps to the right. So notice our decimal is moving 1, 2, 3 jumps to the right. So we went from 15 to 15,000. Takes a lot of these itty bitty little things to make up one of these. 1,000 of these makes up one of these. So 15,000 of these makes 15 of these. All right, so here are your practice problems. I will leave this here if you need to look at it. Plus, you should now have it copied down in your math notebook. You're going to start with 877 centimeters, and you're going to go to meters. So your decimal is going to take 2 jumps to the left. Notice here you're starting with kilometers and you're going down to meters. So your decimal is going to go 1, 2, 3 jumps to the right. All right, I will see you soon.